Hey folks, welcome back to the Portable Gamer. Welcome back to American Truck Simulator. And welcome back to Redding, California. Yeah, Redding, California. And Cascadia Farms. I pulled in here off camera and hooked up to a reefer box of yogurt that we are going to take to Winnemucca, Nevada. You got to say Nevada. You can't say Nevada. They do get mad. So yeah, we got the 3D company logos and... Is Cascadian Farms, is that a real company or is that an SCS company? Man, I don't know. I don't know nothing. And you can also see on the side there, I added a couple of chrome... No, don't pivot away. I added a couple of chrome toolboxes. I added the chrome step box in the rear, just in front of the rear axle. And I added the chrome toolbox, step box, battery box right under the door. Figured we needed a little bit more chrome. You know, I wanted that hot rod look. I know, we'll get going. I wanted that hot rod look where, I talked about it in a previous episode. There's a specific hot rod look where everything is just like rattle can black, rattle can primer gray. And it's a specific hot rod look. It's supposed to look a certain way. And I tried to do that with this truck. You know, like the mirror hardware and the air cleaners and everything. But it just didn't, you know, I think we needed a little bit of chrome. We needed to make it look like we weren't just running out of creativity and making everything blue. So there's a plan. There's always a plan. I'm kidding. There's not always a plan, right? We will need a mini-map, the navigator, as they say, because this truck does not have a GPS. So I think that is everything. We don't have a lift axle to deal with. So brake is off. Put her in gear. What's our weight, by the way, before we get started? 39,000 pounds. And where are we going? We're going to Ely, not Winnemucca. Same thing. Same thing. Ready? Here we go. So what is going on? Today is Friday for me. Saturday for you. It has been a week, man. Do you ever have a week? I have had a week. Now, I will say, as always, trying to be a good Buddhist, that my bad week, I'm sure there are a lot of people in this world that would like trade their good week for my bad week. You know what I'm saying? We really do have it pretty good. And, you know, it's a hard thing to think about sometimes, you know, because you want to kind of get wrapped up in, I don't know, whatever it is you're sorting out. And it's nice to be able to have a little perspective. For me, I'm not telling you what to do. You know, I wouldn't do that. But it's nice to be able to have a little perspective and realize, like, you know, it's a pain in the ass. It's not that bad. So we're good on fuel. We're good on sleep. It is 574 miles. Maybe. I want to say it's about 4 to 1. So it says we got 11 hours left. I want to say it's about 4 to 1 minutes to hours. If that makes sense. That's the little mnemonic that I use. My little, you know what I'm saying? My little formula. If it's 11 hours of real drive time, that would be about 44 minutes. Let me slide over a little bit. That would be about 44 minutes of real time. You know what I'm saying? That's real time. So, man, my voice. What do I need? Do I need to gargle with like whiskey and lemon or something? What is going on with my voice? So 45 minutes, 44 minutes. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know. I don't know what your time is like. I try to check my analytics, and you know, there's been it's consistent across all my videos, and it's consistent from like day one that people watch on average about 5 to 6 minutes of one of my videos. Now I can't find statistics. Ooh, thought that was a little further away. I can't find statistics on whether that is consistent all across the platform. You know, I mean, I'm sure there's some, if it's something like a tutorial game, a little glitchy right there. Not too happy about that. If it's something like a tutorial, then I'm guessing most likely people would watch till the very end, unless it was one of those, you know, clickbaity tutorials. And let's say it's 15 minutes long, and 10 minutes in, you get to kind of the, you know what I'm saying? The high point, the coup de grace, what do you call it? The zenith. And that's what people went there to see for that particular tutorial. Then people are going to be like, okay, that's all I needed. I'm done. I'm out, man. And they won't watch it till the very end. If you hold the good part till the very end, that's something else entirely. That's not too cool. I guess the way you would want to do it is get to the good part and then wrap it up. Best of both worlds. But you see what I'm saying. That's one thing, or clickbait specific, where it's, you're promising something and then delivering it at the very end. Maybe you can keep people around, but I don't know what the deal on the platform is as far as sir, go ahead, as far as what percentage of video people watch. But for me, it's like 6 minutes. I think 6 minutes. Dougie Fresh, you're on. So I don't know, you know what I mean? I don't know if 50 minutes is too long for a video, or if 30 minutes is just right, or if neither one matters because people only watch about 6 minutes anyway. I don't know. I definitely want to make what works best for you, but I don't know what works best at this point. I just don't have enough feedback. So yeah, well, let's see what happens. Let's see where we're at in 30 minutes. If we're 3/4 of the way there in 30 minutes, then we'll just knock it out. If we're like halfway there or less, if we're like halfway there or less in 30 minutes, then we'll probably find a place to sleep. And we will have to sleep anyway because it's 1 p.m. It's 1300, and I slept right before I started the video. Actually, I slept right before I picked the job up so we wouldn't lose any time off the job. But it is going to get dark, and I've done too many nighttime videos. I don't know what it is. I think sometimes that the game is dark more in real world winter. It just seems like it's nighttime all the time in both ATS and ETS. And I don't know why they do that. I mean, the game is pretty at night, no doubt. But it's not pretty enough that they would, like, fudge it to be nighttime. I don't know. But I was curious if, like, because it's winter, I mean, we're coming up on the solstice in a couple days. I wasn't sure if because it's winter in the northern hemisphere. Don't laugh, man. This is the way your brain works when you're autistic. I was like, I wonder if they make the nights longer in game because the nights are longer in the northern hemisphere right now. That's that OCD, yo. So I don't know. It could be exactly 50-50, but I only notice it at night, get a little bit of that cognitive bias going on. So, yeah. Whoa. Yeah, there we go. So yeah, man, it's Friday for me. There was no, it's the end of the football season in American football. If you are not following that, they have Thursday games during the regular season, but toward the end of the regular season, they don't do the Thursday games anymore. And it's they say it's because it's an unfair advantage for teams to have a short week that late in the season when everybody's really beat up anyway and teams are potentially getting ready for the playoffs. It's not fair that they could have a 4-day week to recover, 4 days to recover. So, I mean, from Sunday till Thursday. Right. So they don't do those the last couple weeks. So last night was the first Thursday in like 3 months. Might be going a little fast. No, well, I'm not speeding. It's just a twisty road. Last night was the first Thursday in a few months where I haven't had a Thursday game. So yeah, for the first 3/4 of the season, it's awesome because you get games on Sunday night, Monday night, Thursday night. Super cool. Well, all day Sunday really, but that didn't happen last night. It's kind of a weird thing for me. It's like a marker, for the end of the year. It means we're getting close to the holidays and close to the end of the year, which it's a meaningless number on a calendar. Nothing changes on the 1st. It's just it's a marker. It's a timekeeper, a way that we can sort of delineate this from that. So I think it's always nice to have those rituals and those little benchmarks, perhaps. It's a good word for it. But yeah, man, coming up on the end of the year, and yeah, 2018 has been a very, very strange year for me. Not necessarily in a good or bad way, just very strange. So I'm looking forward to the end of the year, even though, like I said, nothing changes. If the first is a Saturday, sorry, if the first is a Sunday, there you go. if the first is a Sunday, and I don't know whether it is or not, but if it is, on any given year, if the first is a Sunday, whoa, I gotta slow down, man. I gotta slow down. Oh, I know what the problem is. I have the trailer stability turned down to completely zero, like it can't go any lower. Yeah, let's just slow down a little bit. Let's slow it down right about now and play a song from our first album. So if the first is a Sunday, right? January 1st is a Sunday. That means maybe you have Friday off. That means you leave work on Friday. You leave work on Thursday. It's 2018. Go to sleep on Saturday. It's 2018. You wake up on Sunday. It's 2019. You go back to work on Monday. You know, nothing's different. Nothing's changed. It's just the way we feel about it. But that's the case with a lot of things. You know, nothing really means anything. It's just how we feel about it. And one person can see a situation one way, and another person can see it entirely a different way, and it's exactly the same thing. You know, like they say, that fact is what happened, and truth is how we feel about it. I think that's a pretty profound take on reality. So yeah, man, it's just that time of year. So what else is going on? I think that's about it. Getting ready to move in a couple days. Headed to a new Airbnb. Headed to a new remote location. I'm not in witness protection or anything. It's nothing that interesting. But I do move around a lot, man. I am a traveling fool. Home is wherever I happen to be at that moment. So yep, looking forward to that. And you're always rolling the dice with the Airbnb. Could be awesome, could be not so awesome. Could be not so awesome. I got some things to tell you in another week or so when I get packed up and moved out of here. I'll lay it all out for you. It is hilarious, like everything else that happens in my life. Absolutely hilarious, man. You can't take things too seriously, and you definitely can't take them personally. That'll make you crazy. So yeah, don't do that. Enjoy yourself. Laugh a little bit at all the crazy things that life sends your way. What else is going on? I realized when I built this truck, because remember we lost this Viper 389. We lost it when the game patched up to 1.33, but it's back now, and we have plenty of money. We bought a bunch of garages in Oregon. We bought a bunch of garages there. I think 3. Still have plenty of money because we've got a bunch of drivers on now. We hired them through the extra garages. So we're making money faster than we can spend it now. So when we replaced this truck, when it did get patched up for 1.33, it only cost us like $125,000. So we've got plenty of money. And I thought about building another one because I realized that this 389, when we built it on the short wheelbase. We built a 2-axle instead of a 3-axle. So I looked around a little bit and went into the truck dealer, and I built, this is a 36-inch coffin box sleeper flat top, and I took a look at the 63-inch flat top, and you know, it just didn't do it for me. And I looked at some different wheelbases, and I realized, like, no, this is what we need. This is as good as it gets for my eye. And that was kind of weird to think about because it's, I think Sims, particularly Sims that have a lot of mod capability or mod support, I think this is really a test for me as a casual Buddhist, to stay away from that sort of collecting mentality, to have things or want things just because you can. And it sounds ridiculous, but, growth and meaning is wherever you find it. And it's interesting for me to look at video games. Wow, that pop-in is not super immersive. And I do have everything. I know everything's on high. A couple things are on ultra. That draw distance, I think we just might not be able to do anything about that, at least with my current technology. So it's tricky for me because I think it's a little bit the OCD, that I do like to sort of have all my toys in the same box, and I like things a certain way. Now, I know I've said this before. I have the kind of OCD that you can make jokes about, and there are some people that their OCD is really not funny at all. So I've earned my bones. You know, I'm in the club. I'm allowed to make jokes about it because I'm making jokes about myself and not other people. But when I make jokes about OCD or when I talk about OCD, I am definitely mindful of the fact that for some people it's really not cute. It's not funny at all. So I think, you know, my OCD and wanting to have all my toys in one box and wanting things to be a specific way, and we could build another 389 and have that one, you know what I mean? We have this one laid out exactly this way, and maybe this is our short wheelbase sort of day trip. I don't know, we could build like a logging version. You see what I'm saying? We could have all the different Viper 389s, all the different configurations, right? We could have all our toys in one box. And then I catch myself and I think just because it doesn't take up any space, that doesn't mean you're not collecting. Don't be a collector. You know, have in your life, have in your world what matters, what you need, and nothing more. Keep it simple. And I know, I realize that does sound a little bit silly. Like, dude, it's a video game. Like, who cares? Just get your truck. But the thing about gaming these days, it's getting more and more, you know what I'm saying? The avatar building, ooh, slide over in the middle here. The avatar building is getting more and more, you know what I mean? Gaming is, I think it's becoming a legitimate, like, form of expression for us. Possibly not artistic for us, certainly artistic for the modders and those folks. Definitely very creative, you know. But for us, maybe not artistic, but you know what I'm saying. We're really presented with an opportunity to kind of express something with video games. That sounds weird to say, but it's true. And they're becoming a part of our life. So why not learn from that? You know, if it's going to be in your life anyway, why not learn from it or use it as an opportunity to grow? Growth is where you find it. You know, growth is wherever you want it to be, and things are sort of whatever you make of them. So yeah, I'm going to practice maybe not minimalism, but I'm going to practice a little bit of less is more, and we're not going to build another 389. Now we can mod this one, right? Well, I mean, not technically mod it, you know what I mean. If we decide we want a third axle, we can put a third axle on this one. We don't necessarily need to have another one, and another one, and another one. And you know, part of that is, I don't know, I guess maybe I have issues with moderation. I tend to be an all or nothing kind of cat. So maybe that's my way of, you know, since I don't want all, then maybe it'll have to be nothing. And I really would like to practice that. I really would like to get better at being able to sort of find the middle path, as it were. You know what I mean? Not have to worry so much about going from one extreme to the other. Because in a way, there goes the voice again. Pardon me. In a way, that's sort of a fail on my part. You know, to say, well, I just won't do anything then because I'm worried I'll go overboard. From a certain perspective, from a certain angle, that's like, that sucks, dude. You know, too bad you can't just do what you want to do. Then you could have more options. So it's sort of almost like giving up. You know, I don't want to do this wrong, so I won't do it at all. So yeah, man, opportunities. Like I said, always opportunities. Yeah, if this is your first time on the channel, you may be wondering what the hell I'm talking about. Well, if it makes you feel any better, I'm typically wondering what the hell I'm talking about too. There's always an idea in there. There's always a thought. But I mean, that's what we do on the truck sim, you know? Just, right? If you were hitchhiking right now, if I had just picked you up in my truck after confirming that you're not a serial killer, this is probably what we'd be talking about. You know what I'm saying? What the hell else would we be talking about? Hey, total stranger, hop on up here. Let's talk about life. Solve the mysteries of the universe. That's what people do. So we are definitely, yeah. It's weird. We just came up 395. Up, down. We came down 395 from Reading. I used to live on 395 when I lived in Mammoth Lakes, which is crazy to see. I don't know. It's crazy to see the places that you used to live and sort of You know what I mean? Take a step back. I know I sort of casually mentioned that I used to live in Los Angeles, which is not a big deal. I didn't have to pass a test or anything. I just moved there. You know, I got involved with a software startup and off we went, you know, just moved to LA. Anybody can move there. It's really not a big deal, but it's still, you still sometimes get a reaction from it. You know, it's like saying you live in Manhattan, you know, you live in New York City, you live in Manhattan, and people are like, oh wow, it's kind of a big deal. I mean, it is, but it's not. It's anybody can do it. Maybe it is a big deal. I don't know. But thinking about the mountain towns and the places around Colorado and Utah and Wyoming that I've lived, and Montana and Idaho, you know, little mountain towns, little resort towns. It's crazy, all the places that I've lived, and I really have to bite my tongue because every now and then I'll hear somebody say, "Oh yeah, we're going to Jackson Hole for vacation, or we're going to Ketchum, you know, we're going to Sundance," and I really have to bite my tongue. It took me a long time to like learn that, and again, I'm not blaming it on the Asperger's, but it comes with the territory. But there's a very data-driven part of Aspies and people on the spectrum that, you know, somebody says we're going to catch them, and there's a part of Aspies that immediately wants to like do the data dump, you know, because I lived in that area, and you know, oh you know I used to live there. You gotta go to this coffee shop. You gotta try this restaurant, whatever. And that's not, you know, when somebody says they're going to Sundance or they're going to Park City or Copper Mountain or wherever, that's not the response that they want. What they want is for you to say, oh, that's awesome, tell me about that. So it's interesting to hear people talk about, you know, places that they're going to be going and realize like, wow, they're excited to go there for 6 days, and I used to live there. But also, like I said, oh, sir. Oh, this is that thing. Okay. Rerouting. This is probably not the best place to be stopped, but unfortunately, this is where we're stopped. Right. Interesting. Okay, so we'll go down through Tonopah. I guess we'll have to. Okay. So we'll go through Carson City. Okay, and that adds, yeah, we'll do this in two trips because that ain't happening. Right. So now we will go straight. Okay, that could have been worse. Drifting backwards into the car behind us could have been worse. So this is new. It's definitely new in ATS 1.33. I don't know if it's in ETS 1.33, although I have seen several 1.33 patches on the ETS side. But basically this is like the second level of the highway incidents feature, a random traffic accident feature, or random highway incident feature. That's it. So there's a random highway incidents, and that's where like one lane will be closed for construction or for an accident, or a bunch of drug mules have been pulled over, what have you, you know, as you do. And now this is the next one where the actual highway will be closed, and we got burned on that a couple episodes ago. Well, no, I can't say we got burned on it. We screwed up. We saw the road was closed. South Lake Tahoe. Hey, we saw the road was closed, and I was like, I bet they'll let me go around. And we could go around, and I didn't even realize that the side of the freeway that we were on had like zero traffic. It just didn't click. Like, I didn't notice it. And sure enough, like 70 miles, yeah, like 70 miles down the road, there was some stuff in the lane. Now, we were able to just barely squeak past it, but had it been any more like spread out, we would not have been able to. And I'm looking real carefully because I feel like, I mean, this is all based on a real area, but I don't know how accurately it's based on a real area. Like turning into Yosemite at Lee Vining, you know, I've made that turn in real life probably 50 times, It looks similar, you know, but there's nothing, like if you took away the road signs and showed that to me in the game, it's not like I would look at it and say, hey man, I think this is Lee Vining. So it's very, the scenery is very accurate, but it's also not specific to any particular interchange. So we'll go through, yeah, we're going, I guess, past Carson City. Okay. Yeah, and this is just about where we'd make the turn and go up over the mountain. Yeah, made that trip a lot of times too, between Carson City and Tahoe, and between Reno and Tahoe, because there is an airport in South Lake Tahoe, but you do not want to fly in and out of there unless you like being terrified. I mean, maybe you're into that, I don't know. So a lot of people fly in and out of Reno, and when my girl was flying back and forth between Tahoe and her home city, which will remain nameless, I would drive her over the hill to Reno, and that's a trip, man. I mean, that is an actual trip. I don't mean like, oh, that's a trip, man. I mean like that. I mean like, that's a trip. And Reno is an interesting town because it's one of those cities that's gigantic. It's just laid out in this massive valley. There's not a ton of people. There's not, you know, population-wise, it's not a massive city. Oh, got the brakes turned down too. It's not a super big city, but it's really, really spread out, and it's like a nightmare to get from one side of it to another because you can actually see it, like the way that it's laid out in the valley, in the bowl. You can like see where you're going, and it's like, oh, Jesus, is it really way over there? Yeah, man, it's way over there. So, made that trip plenty of times, and you know, it was always nice coming back. Everywhere is home, nowhere is home. But it did feel nice coming back, particularly if it was just the right time of day, where you leave Reno and you drive over the hill, and you crest the mountain and you make a couple turns, and then you can see the lake laid out in front of you in that big bowl, the Tahoe Basin. You can see the lake all laid out, and just like pause for a minute and take it in, like, holy smokes, I live here. Yeah, certainly do. So, yeah. It has been an adventure. Definitely. I wouldn't trade it for the world. It's not always easy. It's not always fun, but I would not trade my life for anything. One big adventure. Right. We're going to look for a place to sleep because we are at 28 minutes. And I think, yeah, if we start looking for a place to sleep now, because we do need to sleep. I haven't received a warning yet, but we do need to sleep at some point. And it's getting dark. And the video is about the right length. So we could get a trifecta here. And get pulled over and sleep somewhere. Oh, what? Oh, the Qualcomm pack that I had, the Qualcomm sounds. Replace the yawn with all the Qualcomm sounds. That mod is gone. And I'm curious because a lot of times a mod will maybe be closed, you know? Can't use this no more. I'm sorry, I take that back. You can use this, but it's not being updated no more. This mod is gone. Like, it doesn't exist anymore. The Qualcomm mod I'm talking about. So I'm a little disappointed about that. I'm not sure why that happened. I don't know if that has something to do with licensing or copyright or what it was. I mean, virtually everything in the Steam Workshop is some brand, you know, Peterbilt or Kenworth or something. So this is, yeah, this is a lake. It's not the lake. This is getting down toward, yeah, we're going to go through Lee Vining. So yeah, this is very accurate depiction of the area. It's just not super specific. Like, there's several lakes on the way down 395 as you go through all those little towns. So yeah, the Qualcomm sound pack is gone, and I'm really disappointed because I thought that really added a lot of realism to the game. I've never liked the yawn. I don't know why it doesn't give you the option to have a tone. You know, give me a tone. I don't need to hear that yawn. Okay, cool. So we're gonna pull in here. And we're going to go to sleep, and I guess we'll finish next time. We'll do it in 2 parts. Let me get us pulled in here. I'm trying to see where the sun is. I think it's sort of non-specific at this point. Yeah, let's pull up here by these dumpsters. We're classy like that. Right, set the brake. I'm going to put these on. Let's take a look outside and take a look at our truck. I don't know. I don't know how I'm feeling about that. But I am going to do this. And take me a screenshot. Folks, thanks for stopping back to check out the Portable Gamer. Thanks for joining us for another episode of American Truck Simulator. And we'll see you next time. Take care now.